RBT family, what's the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back. Back, baby. Back with more NFL action. How's everybody doing? How you feeling? It's Wednesday. It's Thanksgiving Eve, and we got tons of football to talk about. We got tons of football and food to look forward to tomorrow. This is football. This is football Christmas right here. This is football Christmas. Thanksgiving is essentially football Christmas because all day, football is the gift that just keeps on giving. You off work, you can sleep in if you want to. You wake up, there's tons of food everywhere, and there's football on all day long. What else do we need, right? That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm telling you. I can tell you how I'm feeling. Maybe I'm just giving my story, my testimony. I don't know. Maybe you feel the same way. If you do, drop something in the chat. Y'all know what's going on. If you do, drop something in the chat. Let me know what's going on. Matter of fact, while everybody's in here getting real comfortable, right? Let me know what you got going on for the holiday now. What's your turkey day? What's your turkey day look like for you and your family? What do y'all get into? What time you eat? What do you eat? Right? You know what I mean? Any weird, fun traditions? I want to know about it all. Drop something in the chat. Holla at your dog. For sure. For sure. And I'll tell y'all too, like honestly, like Thanksgiving, yeah, for probably most of my life. Thanksgiving's always been my favorite holiday. I always preferred like Thanksgiving to Christmas. You know what I mean? I just always did. The weather's better normally, especially if you're in a place that gets cold. The weather's better. The food's better. You know what I mean? There's more of it. There's football, nonstop. What's not to like? What's not to like? Right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But no, it's a wonderful holiday, man. I really do enjoy it. I really do. Not the same, not quite the same when you get a little older. Not quite the same when you get a little older, but it's still good. For sure. Sis in the building, what's going on? She said, let's go. Hollering to the folks, man. Hollering at the RBT family, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. And then hold on here. Let me get my stuff here lined up. And then we gonna rock and roll. Okay, here we go. All right, so, and you know what? Why you in here? And what's crazy, I'm gonna ask you because I just thought about it. I don't know if I know this answer anymore because you've changed the way you eat. I was gonna say, so what's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Because I know you used to be a ham person. You know what I mean? I used to love the ham. But you don't eat pork no more. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Matter of fact, everybody, when you get into the chat today, say what's up to your dog. Of course, holla at the three amigos. Don't be rude. Like, share, subscribe. Drop some in the chat. When you drop some in the chat, matter of fact, let me know what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is. What's the one thing every year for Thanksgiving you look forward to? Or the one thing every year for Thanksgiving you cannot do without? I need to know. Okay. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'm telling you, something always going on, man. Getting everything to sync like it needs to. But we good to go. We doing all right. And matter of fact, where do we start? Matter of fact, I tell you what, I'm going to pull the Band-Aid off early. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to pull the Band-Aid off early. Pittsburgh on the road against Chicago this Sunday. Needless to say, it is not a victory Wednesday for your dog. Be that as it may. Here we are. Chicago gets the win. They win 31-28. Man, this one, just for me, I'll talk a little bit. Don't mind me, pardon me. This one stings. They all sting, right? They all sting, but this one stings. This is a game we should have won. This is a game we needed to win. This is a game that was winnable. It was there to be won. And we didn't handle business. Chicago, and kudos and credit to Chicago. Kudos and credit to them. Shout out to Ben Johnson doing his thing. Shout out to Caleb Williams, right? Starting to put it together. Starting to put it together for sure. The rest of that young talented group. But there's going to be no excuse here for my Steelers. The Chicago Bears were without their top 3 linebackers. Done. Out of there. Half the secondary was out. Done. Out of there. Right? Didn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You'd have thought that meant that maybe we ran the ball all day long, up and down the field, like I wanted to, like I called for it. No, that didn't really happen. You'd have thought maybe we took advantage of the middle of the field, especially in the short and intermediate, because all the linebackers are 3, 4, and 5, or the 4, 5, 6 guys, right? If the top 1, 2, and 3 are out, and you got to fill those 3 spots, it means the next guys are the 4, 5, and 6. I'm here to tell you something, people. It's not a lot of teams in the NFL that keep 6 active inside linebackers on their roster. One of those guys may have been a practice guy. Did he call up? Where'd he come from? Because I doubt the Bears roster 6 stackbackers, right? It's all right. Now, another thing as well in this one, and we talked about it on the show, and shout out to the RBT Fam because y'all let me know. So there was thought that Aaron Rodgers may play in this game, may start this game. And Aaron Rodgers has been notorious for his long-standing rivalry with the Bears when he was a member of the Packers, all that good stuff. He's got a crazy win-loss record against the Packers, the famous quote that he owns the Chicago Bears, all that good stuff. It was all for naught. He ended up not playing. Y'all tried to tell me I was holding out hope. But yeah, he ended up not being dressed for this one. From all accounts, it was coach's decision, Coach Mike Tomlin's decision. And honestly, that was a winnable game. I think we still should have won that game, even with Mason Rudolph, or that game was there to be won with Mason Rudolph, all those things aside. So I'm not mad there. And also, season doesn't end in Chicago. And also, it's an NFC opponent. We're getting into the real core heart of our playoff run here, these next stretch. So yeah, if I got to risk A-Rod on the road in Chicago or give him the extra week, the wrist is broke, give him the extra week, right? Let him come back with the broke wrist off an extra week at home as opposed to on the road in Chicago, right? And then also I need him more for this one as well. It's an AFC matchup with the Buffalo Bills and my dog, Big Josh Allen. This is going to be a tough week for your dog, man. This is gonna be a tough week for your dog. That's all I'm saying. But in the grand scheme, I do understand the move. Like I said, we can't just put all the eggs in the Chicago basket, man. We gotta get this done. And then depending on how this season turns out, there's a chance. Let's say if the division doesn't go our way, then we'll definitely be fighting for one of 3 wild card spots with Buffalo. So this game definitely has a lot of importance for my Steelers coming up, especially since we've lost games like this. The game to Chicago, game to Green Bay. It goes on and on, but it's all good. Let's see. Sister the chat said it was always the ham. See, that's what I know. That's what I was gonna say. Like in my mind, if somebody asked me, I'd be like, "Oh, ham. Yeah, my sister loves like holiday ham. Like she's going in." But then I was like, you know what? She stopped eating pork a little while ago. I don't even know what she's eating now. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know. She said she's making ribs. I hope they beef ribs. You know how hard it is to find beef ribs? Let me find out she's eating pork ribs. Said it wasn't a bad loss. Yeah, it was a bad loss. When you lose, there's no good losses. It was a bad loss. And it's even worse than a bad loss because it's a game we should have won. Sometimes you lose, and realistically, they had it. They just had your number. You know what I mean? Sometimes you lose. You know what I mean? If it's 96 and you playing Jordan, you're probably going to lose, right? But if you playing the Pistons JV team, you should win that one. That's one we should win. Yeah, we should have won this one. And we needed it. We need it. Now we done let the Ravens come back. The Ravens have tied us in the division. Now we do play them twice head up here to conclude the season for all the marbles. But still, we gave up all that cushion, all that lead. We had four or 5 games on the Ravens. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. It's Thanksgiving. What are we thankful for? All right? That's what are we thankful for this Thanksgiving? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, definitely should have. Yeah, that's a game we should have won. That's a game we should have won. For sure. Yeah, that's yeah, I gotta move on. I gotta move on. Now I'm just gonna see you bringing me down. All right, I was trying to rip the Band-Aid off. You made us talk about it too long. Now I'm sad. All right, here we go. New England on the road at Cincinnati. New England gets this done 26-20. Now, of course, this was the game in which Ja'Marr Chase served his one-game suspension, so he was not available in this game. And then also in this one as well, I think the kicker for Cincinnati broke his own personal record for a long field goal right there at halftime. Of note, Drake May in this one. They do get the win. Not the cleanest of games. He did throw an interception in this one. It was returned for a touchdown through a pick six. But they do hold on and get this victory. A victory I needed them to get as well. I need to get all the other AFC North losses that I can. So I appreciate this from New England and those Patriots, giving the Bengals another L. And now, as far as I can tell, I know we talked about it a little bit on Sunday as well. There was speculation that Burrow may have returned to the starting lineup for this game, but he didn't. And so now the thought is that he may return Thanksgiving night, right? Because the Bengals are going to play the Ravens Thanksgiving night, 7:30 p.m. I will be locked in front of my TV. Matter of fact, since if you're in the building, the Bengals play the Ravens Thanksgiving night at 7 o'clock. Joe Burrow may be making his return. Ja'Marr Chase is coming back from suspension. I got to be there. I will be here, okay? In front of these 70 inches of TV screen, and on this very couch, and I will be locked in and tuned in. I love you. I gotta go. I love you, but I gotta go. I will see every minute of the Bengals and Ravens game on Thanksgiving night, especially if Joe Burrow's back. Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr coming back from his suspension for spitting on folks because he's old, but he's coming back though, and I need him and Joe Burrow to rekindle some magic and beat the Funky Ratbirds on Thanksgiving. I've got to see it. Let me see what's going on. ZB in the building. What's going on, Corey? He said Chargers ended the Steelers season. Hated to do it. Nah. See, it wasn't y'all. It wasn't y'all. And see, the crazy thing about it, I mean, we still in there, man. We still in there. We still got a shot. Now, also, admittedly, yeah, would have been nice to get that dub. You know what I mean? That's another one that I feel comfortable that we could have and should have won. I do feel that way. I'm going to be biased in the matter. I'm still a fan, for sure. But I genuinely feel that way. That's one of the ones. When I say all these games that got away, because we're 6-5. There's 3 that we real life really let get away, I feel. The Chargers are one of those games. I feel like that Chargers game. Aaron Rodgers played the worst game of his career, bar none, in that Chargers game. That's one I feel like got away. That Bears game, honestly, even with Mason Rudolph, that game was there to be won. That game was there to be won. That one as well. What's the last one I'm missing that always gets on my damn nerve? There's a couple. The Green Bay game, we up what? 16 points going into halftime in Pittsburgh on Sunday night. And we don't lose that game. It's not a game we lose. That Green Bay game. And I'm still even missing up. There's several. You know. Yeah. I'm trying not to take it hard, ZB, and you're making it hard for me. I tell you what, ZB. All right? It's Thanksgiving weekend, man. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish, man? What y'all got planned? You got any crazy Thanksgiving traditions at your house? Anything like that? Did you cook? You going somewhere else to eat? I need all the details. Sis said, it's Mania ready to see Joe back. Oh, there you go. Yeah, man, I'm ready to see my boy Joe. Yeah. Yeah, and this thing about it, because Joe Flacco been balling now. So, like, offensively, like the Bengals, what's crazy to say, the Bengals haven't, I mean, outside of Joe the person, Joe the leader, his personality, the familiarity, etc., you know, those things. But from a pure output, right? From a pure evaluation of offensive performance, the offensive output, etc., Joe Flacco, far and above exceeding what you would have expected, right, from a 42-year-old guy coming into the building in the middle of the season, starts that first week. Like, outside all that, so even outside of expectations, Joe Burrow has performed to the level of Joe Flacco has performed to the level that we've expected that offense, that we expect from that offense the same as if Joe Burrow was there. I'm talking about 400-yard offensive outputs, 400-yard games on offense, right? 30, 40 points scored on offense. So they still getting from Joe Flacco what they got for Joe Burrow, and the same problem exists, right? If Joe Flacco throws for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they score 34 points, well, guess what? Just so happens the other team's offense scores 35, and that's a loss, right? So those are the things that Joe Burrow's been dealing with for the better part of, 4 or 5 years now. And now Joe Flacco, the two Joes is going to drive me crazy. Now Joe Flacco stepping in and maintaining or continuing that same tradition, man. And so, it's there. You want Joe Flacco back, general principle. I'm not saying that. But as far as outlook for team performance, I don't know how much really changes. I don't know how much really fluctuates, honestly. What is Joe Flacco? What is that Bengals offense been missing since Joe Flacco's been out? I'm here for it. I would love to know. Not much. I would say it's negligible. Maybe for a throw per throw average, maybe Joe's got better placement, or maybe he's got whatever, right? If we look into the micro nitty-gritty details, maybe. But in the grand scheme, the old eyeball test, you know what I'm saying? They ain't missing much. I mean, honestly, I feel the same about this game. If Joe Flacco was a quarterback for that game Thursday night against the Ravens, it doesn't sway me either way. I'm going to be cheering for the Bengals to win that one anyway. But let's say if I was like, all right, Bengals got to get to 30 to beat the Ravens. Well, they can get to 30 with Flacco or Burrow. So it doesn't change the meter. But I do want to see him come back. I do like Joe Burrow. Mondoose in the building said, good evening, Big Nation family. Once again, have a blessed show. Appreciate you. My dog ZB said, nah, man, they keep it pretty basic. Just load up on the rolls and the mashed potatoes. Hey, come on, man. Hey, hold on, man. A whole Thanksgiving spread out and you go straight for the rolls and the mashed potatoes? Come on, man. Not even the good Thanksgiving mac. You know what I mean? Not just the rolls and mashed potatoes. I ain't gonna lie, though. It's something about Thanksgiving rolls that do hit different. You on to something. It's something about Thanksgiving rolls that that's a good point. I'm with you there. It's something about them Thanksgiving rolls, man. I don't know what it is, but you're right. Let's see. So he said Flacco's name been rung for the play. Yeah. He matched. See, and you know what's funny? You see, I wasn't gonna say nothing. Apparently, and I say this in love, of course, we family. It's RBT family. But apparently, and I found this out recently as well, apparently mashed potatoes is a big Thanksgiving dish in a lot of white households. I was not also aware. And what's funny, like my manager, the lady's my manager at work. Yeah, we talked about it the other day too. You know what I mean? And then even it's a couple days I was talking about it as well. Like, yeah, mashed potatoes are like a big Thanksgiving staple for like a lot of white families, I guess. Honestly, now me and sis, we grew up in the same house. So maybe we a small sample size, but I didn't know that. I didn't know either. That's fair. That's true. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know either. But I dig it though. I do love good mashed potatoes. Good mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying? I do love some good mashed potatoes for sure. But yeah, no, that's funny that you said that because yeah, it's not just me. Yeah, it's a thing. The Giants on the road at Detroit. Famous Jameis, man. I promised y'all fireworks. I thought they was gonna get this done. Right? As soon as they told me Famous Jameis is getting a start, yep, I'm taking Famous Jameis. I got to, because you never know what you're gonna get. And they almost won this one now. They let out all the bells and whistles. Famous Jameis did any and everything to almost upset these Detroit Lions. Now, unfortunately for Famous Jameis and the Giants, they was going up against the best. I'm having a hard time explaining. I'm having a hard time justifying to myself why Jahmyr Gibbs isn't the best player in football. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody got to. I'm trying hard not to take it there. I'm trying hard. But before we talk about no, matter of fact, but no, before we get into the greatness that is Jahmyr Gibbs, let's talk about Jameis Winston, what he did in this game, man. Famous Jameis, 366 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, right? He giveth, he will take it away. All right. 2-1 is not a bad ratio. 2-1 over 350 yards passing for Jameis. I'll take it all day long, right? In addition to that, famous Jameis lined up out wide and went one-on-one down the field and got and caught a one-on-one back shoulder ball, broke a tackle, and scored a touchdown, a 33-yard touchdown reception to be exact, right? On one of the Lions DBs, I'm sitting there man, I was going crazy. I'm going crazy. They got Jameis Winston out there looking like Jimmy Graham. He was out there in that big-ass 19 looking unathletic and athletic at the same time. I can't explain to you. I can't explain how he broke that tackle. It looked like he was stumbling and spinning and trying not to fall down, shakes off the defender, and then gets the prance into the end zone, finger rolls the football with the left, and famous Jameis out here catching 30-yard back shoulder touchdown passes. I tell you what, I've seen it all. Shout out to famous Jameis, my boy. Shout out to you. And then also he threw a fantastic, one of his touchdown passes, he threw 2 in his game, but one of them, was that the first one or the second one? Don't never mind me. Don't matter. Trick play, right? We faked it was halfback pass back to Jameis. Jameis has got pressure. He's got pressure on both sides. He gets the pass back from the running back. He scoots out the way, avoids a defender, and then lets go a good 40-yard rope, right, as he's taking a shot from a second defender. Like, he lets this go and takes a shot back to within a blink, right? Puts it 40 yards on the money down the field. Was that Wan'Dale Robinson? Y'all hate to forgive me. But fantastic play from Jameis, man. Famous Jameis, played a fantastic football game. Not mistake-free. Like I said, we thought he did throw the interception. But, man, fantastic. Famous Jameis is must-see TV. And you know what's funny? I saw a post, like on X or on something, right? And they were saying, like, famous Jameis Winston should be, like, the league's, like, backup quarterback. So Jameis is available as the backup for all 32 teams, right? And so if your quarterback's out, you get Jameis that week. You know what I mean? Or you got to put in the claim for Jameis that week in case there's multiple, right? And so Jameis just travels and he's the league backup. You know what I mean? Like all-time QB when you was young. Somebody was the all-time QB for both. Don't matter what team. You know what I mean? Jameis is the all-time backup. I thought that was hilarious when I was reading the thread. It was hilarious. But yeah, man. Shout out to Jameis. You said not. Well, I mean, it's just me and you on here. It's just me and you. And I know in our house, I know it wasn't like a big Thanksgiving dish, but I've been hearing that like at work and things. Like, yeah, like Thanksgiving mash, the Thanksgiving mash is a thing. I didn't know. I'm finding out too. Yeah, it's funny you said that. My dog Chop in the building, man. What's going on? What's going on, man? Sis said, what's up? Hey, Chop, now we was talking to him, you know, Thanksgiving coming up. I was asking everybody, like, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? You know what I mean? Like, what do you look forward to most, et cetera, et cetera. And so, you know what I'm saying? My dog ZB, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to coworker ZB, man. He said he's going for the rolls and the mashed potatoes. And it just started to spark the side conversation. I was like, something about them Thanksgiving rolls. Thanksgiving rolls always hit different. I don't know what they putting in the Thanksgiving rolls that's not in the regular roll. I don't know. But something about Thanksgiving rolls always hit a little different. But he said the mashed potatoes, right? And then sis was like, she just like second person that about mashed potatoes and Thanksgiving, didn't know it was like a big Thanksgiving thing. And I was like, it's so funny that she said that because I also just had this same conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Family and friends, we was talking. And it's like, hey, apparently, and it's all love here. I'm going to say it again. It's all love here. We a family. RBT Fam. That's real. But apparently mashed potatoes is like a staple in a lot of like white households for Thanksgiving. I didn't know that mashed potatoes was like a Thanksgiving staple type of food. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? So it was funny that ZB said that, And then sis said she didn't know that either. And then it's funny because like we just had this conversation. Was like, yeah, that's the thing. Which brings me to the point of what I was about to say to my dog Chop, man. Mashed potatoes, bro. Is mashed potatoes like a Thanksgiving staple at the crib? You know what I'm saying? When y'all's coming, you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, dog, I don't remember a lot of mashed potatoes, dog. We ain't have it. Okay, I got you, ZB. Yeah. He said don't get him messed up now. He's still digging in. But those are the highlights for sure. I feel you. Hey, ZB, exactly, dog. Y'all ain't gonna tell me if Taysom Hill was getting what? Probably about 15, 10, no, maybe not that many. Maybe on the high end, 15. Taysom Hill had a good 8 to 12 snaps, right, as an other in the heart and prime of Sean Payton's time with the Saints. You know, just like 8 to 12 snaps when Taysom Hill gets out there, you know what I'm saying? We just find a way to let him work his magic. I'm all for it, dog. Because watching Jameis up the field work back against that's a professional DB. You know what I mean? Like when a running back motions out wide, you know what I mean? Like linebacker or a safety goes with him. So Jameis is out there against that man is cashing NFL defensive back checks. Jameis is out there working him. You know what I'm saying? Gets rid of him on the back shoulder, works back to the ball, catches the ball with his hands, and then stumbled out, broke a tackle. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said in the chat, I was like, man, it was like the most athletic thing that I've ever seen. It was one of them. You know what I mean? Because Jameis he was big, tall, and stiff, and was falling. It looked like he was trying not to fall. Broke a tackle, and then pranced into the end zone, man. I couldn't believe it. Jameis out there mossing boys for 30-yard back shoulder touchdowns in the NFL in 2025. He did that on top of throwing for 360 and 2 more touchdowns. And I already told y'all about the halfback pass back to him, avoid a sack, throw a 40-yard laser, and then take a shot. Put that bad boy on the money. Come on, man. Shout out to famous Jameis, dog. Oh, he got cooked. I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh, he got cooked in the film session. I can tell you right now. And since they won, because you can have a little more fun with it when you win. Because if they lost, let that have been a deciding touchdown in a loss. Then we gotta watch it, but we can't really dive in and just have fun with it. Since they won, I guarantee you this probably play. If I'm the coach, this has just been playing on loop. The DBs just got to the meeting room. This has already been playing. I've just had this playing in the background on loop and just talking like nothing happened. Hey, y'all go ahead and get in here and sit down, man. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We had a big week last week. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just talking normal the whole time. This is just on loop. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Matter of fact, if I'm a teammate, I'm getting printouts. I'd have had like posters made. I'd have probably like papered his locker with photos of Jameis Winston mossing him. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like that. For sure. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man. Nah, shout out to Jameis, boy. I'm telling you. Shout out to Jameis. Let me see. Where was we at? Yeah, we're going to keep pushing, man. Minnesota on the road at Green Bay. Green Bay gets this done 23-6. Now, the bigger question is, man, it's premature, but at the same time, that's the thing about it. Moving train don't have to stop for nobody's ticket. You know what I mean? Once the train is moving, you got to be on board. You know what I mean? Like when the train takes off, you either in your seat ready to go or you getting left. JJ McCarthy, man, that Minnesota train may be leaving you, big dog. They can't afford to wait on you. I don't think they can afford to wait on you. We forget looking at this Minnesota Vikings team, and like every time it feels like I talk about them, I always bring this up, and I talk about how this is a 13-win team. This team right now, a year ago, of course, was a 13-win team on the precipice of being a Super Bowl contender, right? This is the same return roster, and so now you got your pup behind center, and he's not ready, man. And the thing about it, is now there's a lot of heavy critique for J.J. McCarthy. And not to say that it's not earned or deserved. It's not to say that because, Mike T said, hey, shout out to Coach. The standard is the standard, man. Standard is the standard. You know what I mean? Sorry that you wasn't ready to swim, but it's time to get in the pool. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. He's not ready to swim. But unfortunately, it's time for everybody to get in the pool. And so now it's got to the point where you've got young stud talent. You've got tier 1 elite talent in Justin Jefferson, which reminds me, I didn't even talk about Jahmyr Gibbs' fantastic day in that Giants game. I almost just said his name now. But you've got prime elite talent in Justin Jefferson. You've got damn good elite talent in Jordan Addison as a wide receiver too. Because he's shown that he can carry a good sized load now. He's a real weapon. And so they've got pieces there on a team that feels like it's in position or primed to make some style of run and challenge in NFL that's turning over, right? The old powers that be, we're watching in real time as these forces are being replaced. Down go the Chiefs, down go the Bills, down go the Ravens, right? Down go the Bengals. Bengals are in the Super Bowl, 4 years ago? Right? And that's AFC, but even, you know what I mean? Like, the Eagles aren't the same Eagles. We watching them tumble too. You know what I mean? The Lions ain't the same Lions. We're watching them tumble too, right? The Rams are rolling, for sure, right? San Francisco, tumbling. We're watching it. So this NFC and this NFL in general is wide open. This is the perfect time for a team. Last year's Vikings team playing today playing today right now. Like I said, they're the guys in contention with the Rams as the best team in the NFL right now. That same team from last year. So this is where they're at, right? But they've got a pop. And the thing about J.J. McCarthy is he was an inexperienced college quarterback. Not from terms of like starts, because I do think he had ample starts. He was a 2-year starter for sure. I don't think he started as a true freshman, but I know he was a 2-year starter for sure. But we have to remember that his usage in college was light. So even though he may have the starts, right? Because he probably had somewhere between 20 and 25 starts, he still doesn't have the usage. He doesn't have the attempts. You know what I mean? They won a lot of those games and he threw 16 passes. He won a lot of those Michigan games on the way to a championship going 12 for 16, like $180 and 2 tubs. You know what I mean? Because Blake Corum and the bunch, you know what I mean? It's a very run. So he's been in the position, but he hasn't seen a lot of live bullets. He still got a lot of growing and maturing to do. But again, we can't wait for you to learn how to swim. Everybody's already in the pool. And so I think he's actually going to be out this next game because he's been injured. He missed his whole rookie season due to injury, right? Then he came back this year. Then he missed over half this season, 6 games or so this season. He came back. He's been terrible. And he's been terrible to a level historically bad. And so I've seen stats and posts talk about it. Like, he's got numbers comparable to Jamarcus Russell. Now, I'm going to tell you, RBT family, there's a lot of things you can do and still be all right as far as being an NFL player, just being a professional football player. You can spit on somebody on national TV and you can lie about it, right? You can still be all right. You know what I mean? You can fumble a football. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things you can do. You cannot be mentioned in the same sentence as a quarterback with Jamarcus Russell, and nothing that you do. There's nothing that you can do that could be tied, that could tie you to Jamarcus Russell, and you be okay. He's in those style of conversations with his play right now, man. The accuracy is atrocious. No timing, no true sense of timing, not understanding or being able to read and visualize and see NFL windows, take them for what they are, right? None of that stuff, man. So there's talk, and also with him being out, I think they're gonna start some kid, Max Brosmer is the name I've been hearing, and he's from local there, University of Minnesota. But essentially, he's Brock Purdy, he's Mac Jones, he's one of these style of guys, right, where he doesn't have all the tools, he doesn't run as fast as J.J. McCarthy, he doesn't have near as strong an arm, he's not as big, he's not as handsome, he's none of that. Kirk Cousins, he's this ilk, right? guy come in there. He's David Mills, right? One of these characters. He may not do anything well, but he may just get out the way, and now they win. And then now what do you do if Max Brosmer leads the Vikings to a victory here, not doing anything special, but he didn't have J.J. McCarthy's 2 to 3 like turnovers that you can just count like clockwork? And then also, maybe he's accurate with the football on passes between 5 and 12 yards. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be special, but now they win. Maybe they win too. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's outlook looks like in Minnesota, man. I don't know. And I liked J.J. McCarthy coming in, but he definitely was a guy that was going to take some time. He definitely was. Oh, hold on. My fault. Let me check my chat as well. Matter of fact, I got it. Y'all slipping. I got it. Yeah, man. Put the chat on the board. I was like, hold on, man. Let me go check the chat. Oh, yeah. Put the chat up. See, y'all slipping. Y'all slipping. Hold on. I'm going to catch up, though. Sis said, what's up, the chop? Let me see here. Let me see. Oh, yeah, ZB, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, dog, it's looking terrible, bro. I'm telling you, JJ, it's hard watching. Like, I was watching the Ravens game. I needed them to beat the Ravens for sure, and that was a game that was there for them to be won. And my God, man. My God. Like, watching those 2 interceptions, I think they were on back-to-back possessions. Literally. Watching those 2 interceptions on passes you didn't even have to attempt or didn't have to make. Not only were they inaccurate, just terrible decisions. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you. That's exactly my point, ZB. He can't be worse. JJ's in conversations with Jamarcus Russell. He can't be worse. I don't know what Brosmer can do that could be worse than what we've seen from JJ, because JJ's in conversations with Jamarcus Russell. And I'll tell you another thing, because we've seen poor play from young quarterbacks. Zach Wilson was never mentioned. His play was never mentioned with Jamarcus Russell. And Zach Wilson had a hell of a time in New York with the Jets before that crashed and burned. There was no stats or comparables between Zach Wilson and Jamarcus Russell. There's comparables and correlations between J.J. McCarthy and Jamarcus Russell. Now, we got to understand just how bad historically that is. Like, come on, man. It can't be worse. It can't be worse. He said, but they won't win in Seattle. Sam Darnold's revenge game, he'll be out for blood. He may, but see, the thing about Sam Darnold, man, he doesn't do well in the bright lights, man. That Rams game exposed it as well. And then the same thing that happened last year when he was with the Vikings, right? He crumbled at the end of the year. When the pressure got heaviest, when the lights got brightest, he folded. He did that to end he's not with the Vikings now because he folded under the big lights last year when they were rolling. Then he gets to Seattle, he's balling. Right? It's week 12. For 10 out of these 12 weeks, it's hard to, for 10 out of the 12 weeks we played NFL football this year, we're hard pressed to say there's how many quarterbacks have played better. For all 10 of 12 weeks, not many. You know what I'm saying? So he's played damn good. Then he goes to the Rams and completely shits the bed. Right? When those lights get the brightest, he folds. 4 interceptions. They lost that game on the road to St. Louis, or to the Rams, Las Vegas Rams. They lost that game by 2 on the road in primetime. He threw 4 interceptions. That sounds like we just described the J.J. McCarthy game. It sounds like we talk about J.J. McCarthy costing the Vikings. Man, the defense held tough. We're on the road, top competitor. We lose by 2 points. Oh, yeah, the quarterback threw 4 interceptions. That's J.J. McCarthy in a nutshell. Like, that's what Darnold did. So, I don't know. It's not a given. It's not a given that he's going to go show out. Now, not to say that Seattle's not just talented enough to just win that game, because they are, especially with their defense, right? And especially if JJ was playing and he's got a penchant for giving the other team the ball, Seattle's one of those opportunistic teams anyway that, I mean, they're going to compound they'll compound those type of errors anyway. And so now with JJ being out, we've got Brosmer coming in. And yeah, I don't expect him to be worse, than JJ, but I don't know how much better realistically I can ask him to be either. Because he's still a guy coming in, and he transferred to University of Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. He was a D2 guy, I believe. He was either a D2 guy or maybe a AA guy for a couple years, and he transferred for his last year and played at Minnesota, and then they signed him off. I think he was signed from University of Minnesota as an undrafted free agent, I believe. And so, realistically, I don't expect him to do much in the face of that Seattle defense, but Minnesota and their defense, they have a chance to really get after and affect Sam Darnold. Like I said, now they did just get the bounce back from that Rams loss against Tennessee, and he got back to balling, right, and did what he had to do. But it's Tennessee, right? Now you're coming back up against another talented defense, right? The Vikings, and they're familiar with him as well. They saw him every day in practice. Before he was starting, they saw him. Before they were starting, they saw him every day as the practice squad. So they know him intimately as well. Who knows who knows Sam Darnold better than Kevin O'Connell, right? And so now we get to combine all of that, and Brian Flores, B-Flow, saw him for himself. Sam Darnold, he set his defense against Sam Darnold for half a season, or however long he was the scout QB before he took over, right? So yeah, they know him pretty well. So, and then also, if he's turning the ball over in these big moments, a la the Rams game against this Vikings defense. So I don't know, man. I'm with you. When the time comes and it's time to score that game, I guarantee you I'm gonna have I'll probably have Seattle to win that game by double digits. But I'm just saying there is a world in which Sam Darnold goes out there and lays an egg, and that Vikings defense is able to steal one, especially if Brosmer is able to do anything positive. Anything positive. Let's see. Z say if they moved on for Darnold after what he did last year, they'll have no new. Well, see, no, but here's the difference though. So last year, JJ McCarthy was a rookie. They took him. He was the fourth QB taken, but he was still taken in the top 12, right? Yeah, he was still taken in the top 12, I believe. So, but he's the young hotshot first round quarterback. And so that's where the decision for him and Darnold came into play. It was Darnold did completely fold at the end of the year. So there's that. Darnold looked a lot more like the guy he was when he played in New York, and like he just played against the Rams for like the last month of that Vikings season where everything came down crashing for them abruptly. So you had that collapse by Darnold, right? And then also we've got this first round quarterback that we're super excited about waiting in the wings as well. And so if you re-sign Sam Darnold, you're essentially punting on JJ McCarthy before you even get a chance to see what you got, and you invested a first round draft pick. So that's the dynamic when they let him go, right? And then also there was no promise that Sam Darnold was gonna be what he's been for 11 out of the 12 weeks in Seattle, because we can't forget, he wasn't that guy before he got to Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. So the guy he is now, the guy who's lighting the league up and throwing 40-yard lasers to JSN all over the field, well, Kevin O'Connell birthed that guy. He wasn't that before he got there. He hadn't shown he could do that before he got there, right? And then there was no promise that he was going to do it after. Because, again, he crumbled the last month of the season and probably cost them a chance at trying to make a run. You know what I mean? With his play, we got to single him out. It was that bad. So, so those are a little different. Now, it's a completely different thing to say you're going to give up on your rookie first-round quarterback. Because we have to remember, he's only played 6 career games. He's been in the league for a year and a half. He's played 6 career games because he missed the entirety of his rookie season. He got injured that last preseason game, or going into that last preseason game. And they were excited about him last year, right? And so he misses all that year. Nobody knew that Sam Darnold was going to come have a resurgent year, right? And so that could have been expected. And so then he comes back, JJ does. Well, he only plays in 2 games before he gets hurt again. And then he misses 6 games, and then now he's been back for 4 games and he's hurt again. So he's only got 6 career starts. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a very small sample size. And again, from a guy who I'm assuming they would have had to know it. I feel like I knew it, right? And a lot of people did. They talk about, talk about the draft and that sort of thing. It was known that, he was going to be a guy that needs to be developed a little bit because he just didn't have a lot of live just reps because it wasn't a very pass-heavy offense at all. You know what I mean? The antithesis of that. If they could get away with winning the game and J.J. McCarthy had to attempt 11 passes, that's exactly what they did. And they were able to do that more times than we would think. You know what I mean? And so he just didn't have a lot of live reps. You know what I mean? And so, that's why I say it's hard to justify wasting that type of capital. Those rookie quarterback contracts, they're fully guaranteed. Now, it's not the heyday of Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford back in the day where those rookie deals were $90 million when they first showed up. So it's not crazy like that, but it still is guaranteed. So now you draft him, spend a first round pick, right? He's only played 6 games. You still got the 4-year contract's guaranteed. Now maybe it's only 13.2, but still, right? It's still an investment now. And that's still wasted money spent. Because if you move on a second time, I don't know if you can go back a third, realistically. Realistically, if you move on a second time, I don't know if they're coming back a third go around. I don't know if third time's going to be the charm. You see, he's real cringy in interviews, too. Yeah, man. And I saw something, too, where like his field alter ego is 9, just his number. He's just like, you know what I'm saying, when I snap into 9 mode, you know what I'm saying, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But I'm not going to lie. I kind of like that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here. Go ahead. I don't mind you talking your talk. I want to see you walk the walk, too, though. But I don't mind you letting me know what time it is, man, if you one of them ones. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to talk about them 404, it sounds good to me, but you got to deliver. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't delivering for sure. So, he should probably pipe down until he starts delivering. But I ain't going to lie, man. I ain't going to stop nobody from letting me know how they feel now because I let your play talk. The play going to talk for us. Let me see. Oop, my fault. I went too far back. Man, Day One Gang Jarrell in the building, man. What's up, big dog? What's going on? What's going on, man? Well, you know what, man? I hate to do this to you, man. You just got here. But since you here, there's no better time to talk about your Eagles losing to the Cowboys than right now. Why you here fresh? I might as well get you while you fresh, man. Now, also, as we go into the game, man, I definitely want to know your thoughts, man. But here's the crazy thing about this game, for one, right? What, the Eagles, y'all was up 21-0 in the first half of this game, I believe. Yeah, because I think the Eagles are not the Eagles. The Cowboys scored their first down. Yeah, they scored their first touchdown in the third quarter for sure. Yeah, so it's 21-0 at halftime, man. And so now also on Sunday, I did predict the upset. I guess the upset of sorts, we'll call it, right? So I did pick Dallas to win this one. I didn't imagine it was going to unfold the way it did, but I did pick them to win this one, the way that offense has been rolling. We already know about the internal turmoil with this Eagles team, specifically the offense. And so I did, and I just like the thought of that passing attack and just how they've been rolling, man. I did want to see how Quinyon and Dijon, right, how they would fare against George Pickens, playing some of the best football in the league, bar. Unless your name is JSN, George Pickens has been the dude. You know what I mean? So he's playing at the level he is. Quinyon Mitchell, fantastic, right? Cooper DeJean as well. What he's going to look like matched up with CeeDee Lamb. And we got to see all of that, man, in that game. And so comes out, y'all start out 21-0. I'm sitting there like, damn, Cowboys, I can't believe y'all really pissed the bed like this at home, right? You got to get this one back. And then lo and behold, man, second half of that game, man, they come back and put it on y'all, man. Oh, man. Oh, it hurts. Man, I feel you, dog. Man, I'm telling you. I feel you. I feel you, dog. I feel you. My dog, Day One Gang Jarrell says, O-line gets no push on run plays, no flair to the offensive play caller. No, those are good points as well. Yeah. Saquon, another slow game in this one, but he's definitely been boxed up, man, Man, how many 100-yard games does Saquon have? I was going to say, does he got 2? Does Saquon got 200-yard games this year? It's 1 or 2. which is crazy, right? Especially with him coming off of the best single season of his career, statistically, right? Not just in general, period, right? So he had a career year in every sense of the word. Cut by your team, signed by a rival. 2,000-yard season, offensive player of the year, Super Bowl appearance, Super Bowl victory. You know what I mean? Fantastic year. And then now the season he's having coming off of that is just that dynamic is just crazy. So he's also had a very poor year. And yeah, in this one as well, because I think Lane Johnson was out for y'all offensive line as well. But this is still even deeper than this game against the Cowboys, man. Like, that running game hasn't been anything to talk about for sure. In addition to the struggles that we've already talked about, we beat that horse to death, brought it back and beat it again, but it's still relevant, so we still talk about it, right? The issues with AJ Ball and the inconsistencies or AJ Brown and the inconsistencies getting him the ball. So we've known all of those things for sure. But dog, I'm telling you, man, yeah, I don't know what the deal is over there. I don't know what the deal is. My dog said it seems like every team knows how to spread the ball around. It says the team with the most weapons. Boy, you might be on to something. You might be on to something. Because it's not a lack of weapons, I tell you that. It's definitely not a lack of weapons. Now, here's the thing as well, and this is also what I hate how this can play into the narrative around AJ Brown, right? Because for the majority of the last 2 years, there's AJ Brown has not got the touches or targets or involvement in the offense that he should for a player of his caliber, right? So those are the things that we've talked about again. Well, in this one, he got those touches, man. He was 8 for 110 and got a touchdown. You know what I mean? So he showed up and did his job, did what he had to do, and now this one comes at a losing effort. And I hate that. Like, somewhere out there, I'm not saying I know who said it, but somewhere out there, somebody's going to be like, the next time AJ Brown doesn't get the ball or the next time it comes up, somebody will say, well, last time he had 100 yards, we lost to the Cowboys. We were up 21-0 at halftime. You know what I mean? It'll be that type of conversation to justify why it's okay to not get a top 5 player to position the ball, a top 3 player on your own team not to get him the ball, etc. Well, when we weren't giving him the ball, we were winning. You know what I mean? I that's why I hate that can even be said. But in this one, it was the case. But to the victor go the spoils. And let's talk about George Pickens, man. 9 for $146 and a touchdown. Also on his 9 for, I'm just calling it $150. 9 for $150 and a touchdown. Now, mind you, on 9 targets. 9 for 9 for $150 and a touchdown. George Pickens in that game, right? The bulk of that work done in the second half, of course. CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 75, no touchdown. He had 11 targets. And then of those 11 targets, he caught 4 passes, and I want to say he had 3 drops. If memory serves, I want to say he had 3 drops. And the thing about it is that he's had a little bit of the dropsies ever since he came back from his injury, right? When he went down with that injury, and then George Pickens took off, assumed that number 1 receiver spot in Dallas, he ain't gave it back yet. I think they lose a lot of the trouble they had in that Broncos game, which was CeeDee Lamb's first game back. A lot of the trouble they had in that game, especially even that's the game that Pat Surtain goes down with injury, reigning defensive player of the year, right? Arguably the top corner in football. He goes down that game. And they still lose that game, and the offense looks poor. And a lot of it looked like Dak was trying to force feed the ball back to CeeDee, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, CeeDee's been watching Dak and George play with his toys. And so we came back and Dak tried to overcorrect, man, is what I felt like watching that game. And it still feels like that to a certain extent. Because he's not producing. Right? 2 weeks ago on Monday night when the Cowboys beat the Raiders and George Pickens going absolutely bananas, right? And the camera's panning to CeeDee Lamb when George is making catches and touchdowns and big plays, and he looks a little salty. All right? Looks a little salty. Looks a little bit like what Anthony Davis looked like when LeBron set the all-time scoring record. And remember the cameras panning with Anthony Davis? He was still like sitting down in his chair. Everybody was standing up. He was sitting down. He might have been looking at his phone on the slide. Like, oh yeah, good job, Brian. You know what I mean? It was one of those. It looked like CD feeling away, man. That's what it looks like. And Dak, shout out to Dak, because he's still giving CD targets that need to go to George. We're being honest. And he's dropping the ball, man. And he's dropping the ball. But let me see. Anything else worth talking about in this one? No. That's it, man. That's it. But that's what I want to say. Now, here's another thing as well. Because, of course, we know George Pickens on last year of his contract, the Cowboys and their cap situation, as notorious as it's been for it feels like the last decade or more, right? Do they sign him? And if they sign him, how do they sign him? Because for one, and especially if I'm George Pickens, right? I was already a second-round draft pick, even though I was a first-round talent. It took me 4 years to get to a place where somebody could finally get me to football so I could show what I can do. And now that I've got somebody that can give me the football, I've shown that I'm the best receiver in football. If your name is not Jackson Smith and Jigba, I'm the best receiver in football right now. That's the type of conversation he can have. That's the type of conversation George Pickens can have. Legitimately, right? So he's a $40 million man. That's what the market is. Jamar Chase reset that market at $40 million. And he's spitting on boys and lying about it because he's soft. So, you know what I'm saying? And then also just seeing just how valuable it is to have a true elite difference maker at that position. How valuable was Tyreek Hill at the peak of his superpowers? How valuable is Jamar Chase at the peak of his superpowers? How valuable is Justin Jefferson at the peak of his superpowers, right? How valuable was Randy Moss at the peak of his superpowers? These are the conversations that teams, coaches, and GMs are going to have about George Pickens. Because all those, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of effect he has on the ball game, man. Legitimately. So somebody's going to get that man. Somebody's going to get that man north of 30. He's going to crush 30 for sure. I want to know how close to 40 does he get? And if the number is 40, I don't know how the Cowboys are going to re-sign him or are going to keep him. And honestly, I don't know if George is going to play on no franchise tag because they're going to have to franchise him. You definitely can't let him go. But also, you can't afford to sign him. Can't afford to sign him and you can't let him go. So they'll franchise tag him. And I don't know, man. I don't know. George is already volatile to say, to a certain extent anyway. I don't know. Even if he shows up and plays on that tag, we'll see. ZB said he heard Pickens is leading the league in yards per catch since he entered the league. Oh, yeah. He did that in Pittsburgh, bro. We just couldn't get him. We didn't have nobody to give him the ball. Bro, we had him in Pittsburgh for 3.5 years. For 3.5 years. Boy, I had Kenny Pickett throwing on the ball. I had Mitch Trubisky. Mason Rudolph, Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson. These are the guys that I surrounded against. Those are the guys I had throwing the ball to young Randy Moss. Those are the guys I had throwing the ball to young. You know what I'm saying? Just any unicorn like that. 6'4", 200 pounds. The boy, he jumps 40 inches. He runs 4.3. At 6'3", 210. And he's agile. He's shifty. That Raiders game, we talked about it. He catches a 12-yard stop, right? Reverse pivots, hits the sideline, stops, cuts on an angle, cuts on a dime at angle, and breaks 3 professional DBs' ankles on the way to the end zone, man. Special. Guys that big don't move like that. There are no better hands in the league. Who's got better hands? You can have as good. You can have almost as good. I don't think there's any better hands. And especially with the ball in there. Supreme body control. Like all these things, dog. So yeah, he's been this guy. Matter of fact, if Chop's still in here, man, I'd have had these conversations before, man. When George Pickens was putting up 800 yards on 52 catches, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've had these conversations, dog. Yeah, no doubt. So he thinks he gets tagged, and see that's the thing. Like he'll get tagged. They'll have to tag him. But see, I don't know what George you're gonna get once you tag him. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. He's too close to $40 million to risk playing on a tag, which is going to be another 1-year rental from Jerry, because you know Jerry not cashing out. You know what I mean? So if I'm George Pickens and Jerry tries to hit me with the tag, day one game Jarrell, I did not know that. David Mulugheta, is that his name? David Mulugheta. Hey, shout out to David. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Because didn't Jerry say he'll never speak to David Mulugheta again? Doesn't even recognize him as an agent? And if I'm David Mulugheta as well, I'm not cutting no slack for Jerry Jones. So if he's got David Mulugheta as his agent, I can't wait to hear the stories of how those negotiations played out. And I can guarantee you that David Mulugheta is not going to let George Pickens take a dime less than market value. So there's no way he's going to be a Cowboy. Not extended. There's no way he's going to be extended and play. He's going to be, there's no way. I can't see it now. I didn't know that day one game, Jarrell. But if you telling me that David Mulugheta represents George Pickens, then that's donezo. Well, it's a mandatory franchise. And then I want to know what George does when he gets franchised. Because knowing you're not coming back. Because he's not going to take a penny less than market value. He's not going to take a penny less than market value. What do you think he's worth to Buffalo? What's George Pickens worth to Buffalo? You don't think Josh Allen to go talk to Brandon Beane and tell him, I need $40 million set aside for George Pickens? You don't think Josh Allen wants to give George Pickens $40 million tomorrow? Shit. Yeah, man, y'all crazy. Yeah, that meant somebody gonna get that man $40 million. And they gonna race to do it. It's gonna be a fight to get in line to offer George Pickens $40 million. And Jerry ain't gave us no reason at all to think he's gonna do it. So yeah, he's gonna franchise him. And then I'm curious to know, does he hold out? Does he show up and just, you know what I'm saying? Like he may not have it. Mentally, he might not be there. And it's not just a George Pickens thing, it's not a selfish thing either. Because if I'm George Pickens, I'm not playing for $30 million, knowing that it's just this 30, and then risking 200. Because 5 years at $40 million is $200 million. So I'm gonna take 30 from Jerry and risk my 200 that's waiting on me? Man, I don't know, bro. Hey, I don't know, dog. I don't know, man. Ma do say if they didn't make Dak the franchise quarterback, and you know what? And I'm surprised at you. This is not a bad comment at all. This is not a bad comment. Because Dak Prescott's making $60 million a year. That's also Jerry's fault, right? Because Jerry, I don't know what school of negotiation Jerry went to, and maybe that stuff was cool in the 90s when he found a way to pay Michael Irvin, pay Emmitt Smith, pay Troy, go sign Shedeur Sanders to the biggest free agent contract in the history of the league at that time. Go get Charles Haley from the Niners. Sign him. Sign Darren Woodson. You know what I mean? Like in the 90s, Jerry was able to finagle and finesse and do all these tactics, or I guess the stuff that he was doing then that worked out. He ain't let that stuff go, man. It's been 30 years, big dog. Old dog, you got to learn some new tricks. He ain't learned no new tricks. And now we see the fallout. We see him mishandling the Dak Prescott extension. Dak Prescott got drafted in the 4th round. He was the rookie of the year. Now, it should have been Ezekiel Elliott as the rookie of the year. But he was the quarterback on that team that won so much, even though rookie Ezekiel Elliott led the league in rushing. It's all good. Dak was the rookie of the year. He's in the 4th round. He supplanted Tony Romo. They won, I think they won 20. Did they win like 23, 24 games in Dak's first 2 years? Right? So Dak could have saved himself $20 million a year if he'd signed Dak timely. Instead, he didn't. Got cute, got tough, did all this whoop-de-whoop, yam and yam. You know, did all this extras. And now Dak is a $60 million a year quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So you make a good point, right? If Dak's not there, or not even, I don't even want to say if Dak's not there, because I think Dak is a talented quarterback. He gets too much hate. I do think that. I think Dak. Dak's a top 10 quarterback, man. I think Dak's comfortably a top 12 quarterback for me, but I think most years Dak's a top 10 quarterback. You know what I mean? Regardless of what the narratives are around him or whatnot. 2 years ago, he was arguably the MVP of the league. He just didn't have nothing to put the cherry on his cake, on the cherry on his ice cream. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but if he's not there, or more importantly, if he's signed more reasonably, if the deal is done more reasonably and he's on a much more affordable contract, then a lot of these issues that they don't have, Micah might still be there if Jerry would have signed Dak timely, right? So all this stuff, a lot of this stuff that we are seeing with the Cowboys and the cap situation and the re-signing of players and letting go of players like Michael Parsons, homegrown, elite talents and things like that, all that stuff can be argued as residual from his failings in getting Dak Prescott signed. And what that costs. That's a good comment. That's a good comment. Yeah, that's a good comment. Let me find out you studying football in the spare time. My dog Miles in the building, man. Shout out to Pretty Tony in the building, man. You know what's going on. It can't be late, man. Get on in here, sit down, enjoy yourself, big dog. It's just like church, bro. You ain't got to get on time. Just get here, man, because you can still catch some of this gospel, man. You already know. I appreciate you. Let me see. ZB said, I think Brandon Beam would rather go sign Julio Jones than a guy like George Pickens. Refuse to help Josh out, man. You might be on to something there too, boy. You might be on to something there too. Now, and I tell you what they did just do. They did go ahead and sign Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks just got released. Where Brandon Cooks go after the Cowboys? Did he go back to the Saints? I can't even remember where Brandon Cooks was at. When I saw the news that Brandon Cooks requested and got his release, I was like, damn, he played there now? Like, I lost track of where he was at. I want to say he went back to the Saints, I believe. But they went ahead and released him. And then from what I was hearing, if he hasn't signed yet, I guess he's due to sign in Buffalo, I believe, is what is the news that I was seeing. And so, yeah, you might be on to something, boy. I gotta tell you what. They ain't did it yet. Let's see. Day one game, Jarrell said they should have signed OBJ. Nah, man, that ship is sailed too, dog. OBJ's time is behind him, man. OBJ's time is behind him. And you know what's crazy, man? He's one of those guys where the first 3 years of Odell Beckham Jr.'s career, the way people talk about Mahomes right now, the way people talked about Mahomes after his first 3 years, now it's a little different, quarterback to receiver, but I'm telling you the truth. I was there for the conversations. Odell Beckham's first 3 years in the league, people were already he's on track to be the GOAT. Odell Beckham was on track to be the GOAT for a lot of people. The first 3 years, bro. Then injuries and the Giants just being the Giants, and you know what I mean? He was there's an old saying, man, the brightest stars burn brightest and they fade the fastest, man. And that's the tragedy of OBJ's career, dog. The biggest stars burn bright and fade fast. And that is exactly Odell. That's the story of OBJ, man. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what OBJ has left in the tank. I think that Super Bowl run with the Rams was like his swan song. And honestly, right, he got hurt in that one. Tore an ACL in the second half of that one, right? Didn't finish that game, missed the second half of the Super Bowl. He dominated the first half. And that's with Cooper Kupp, fresh off his record-breaking NFL season, the 1964 or whatever that is. So fresh off that 1,900-yard season, the Triple Crown season for Cooper Kupp, he's playing second fiddle in the Super Bowl to OBJ. And for a lot of that playoff run. So I think that was like the last hoorah of OBJ right there, man. And then that second half ACL in the Super Bowl took the last of the juice. I think that was the last of the juice, man. Because we've seen him since then. We saw him with the Ravens. It was ugly. And you know what? I think that's it. Yeah, just when he re-signed with the Ravens. And then I think he had a suspension. Because, yeah, he just officially got reinstated from a suspension. I think he got suspension for some type of failed test. I can't remember if it was recreational or PEDs. but he just came off of, I think, like a suspension of some sorts, and so he's eligible to sign somewhere. But yeah, nah, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think that's over with, man. I think that's over with. My dog Miles said he was on track, but he played in New York and messed up his knees like Saquon did. And Makers. Oh, Neighbors. Okay. I had to read that like 3 times. It said Makers did. I bet your autocorrect didn't like Neighbors. Okay, I got you. He was on track, but he played in New York and he messed his knees up like Saquon did. He messed his knees up like Saquon did and like Neighbors did. Okay, and Scatterbo. Okay, man, my goodness, dog. My fault. It was throwing me. But no, I get you though. I get you. And yeah, man, and that's the thing too. The Giants in that organization, for as old an organization as it is, as revered as they are, they're one of the blue bloods and da-da-da-da. Poorly run, man. Because we've seen them squander talent. They had Saquon Barkley, right, in that building and went another way. Gave $40 million to Daniel Jones and refused to give Saquon 16. Saquon wanted $16 million. You know why he wanted $16 million? Well, because Christian McCaffrey was getting paid $16 million. Right? Or 15. So he wasn't asking for something outrageous. So giving Saquon 16 in the face of C-Max 15 or giving Daniel Jones 40 when Patty Mahomes is making 45? Who signed off on that? The Mara family did. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that did Daniel Jones marry into the family? Did he marry one of the Mara daughters? I think he married the Giants. He married into the Giants ownership family. I'm like 98% sure. I ain't mad at you, Daniel Jones, boy. Hey, secure that $40 million bag, homeboy. I ain't mad at you. But that's the type of organization they was dealing with for sure. You know what I mean? Like that's like just poor handling. And then also even Daniel Jones, right? We've seen that he can be a quarterback that finds talent and success. Now, is he gonna be a tier 1 guy that puts the team on his back? Well, no. But he's definitely showed that he can be damn capable. He had a lot of y'all for about 7 weeks arguing that he was the MVP of the league, right? So when you see the success that players like Daniel Jones and Saquon have as soon as they leave your building, it does speak to the organization. It's got to. It's got to for sure. You know, that New York turf is terrible. The Meadowlands field is one of those fields where routinely, like when you hear players give interviews or thoughts or talk about like game services, the Meadowlands, that's the shared field between the Giants and the Jets, is always one of the like worst 3 fields in the league. Because just like you said, boy, OBJ, Scatterboo, Neighbors, man, there's tons of guys have tore knees up, man, playing in that place. For sure. For sure. Oh, he was with the Dolphins. Brandon Cooks with the Dolphins. Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea. Where's he been at? Because Tyreek got hurt a month ago. I ain't seen or heard Brandon Cooks' name in a month. If anything, I'd have thought he started getting burned when Tyreek went down. They got Jalen Waddle. They got Malik Washington. Now, I love Malik Washington now. I called Malik Washington in the 6th round. I kid you not. I called Malik Washington in the 6th round to steal of the draft. That was my single favorite pick of the draft. I thought Malik Washington could have won in the 2nd round. I'm telling you, getting him in the 6th was the steal of the draft. That's how I felt. So I love me some Malik Washington. You know what I mean? I wasn't as high on Waddle, but I love me some Malik Washington. So where's Brandon Cooks been at? Yeah, he wasn't getting no burn. I had no idea he was with the Dolphins, bro. I'm glad you just said that. I had no idea. Oh, OBJ was with the Dolphins. Okay. I got y'all. My fault. I was about to say, I'm like, Brandon Cooks is with the Dolphins. God, dog. Yeah. Okay, OBJ. Okay, so after the Ravens, he went to the Dolphins. Man, damn, I ain't gonna lie, cuz I forgot that too. I don't remember. You know what? No. Okay, now that y'all say that, I feel like I can see like promos of him in the jersey. Yeah. I don't know if I ever saw him get on the field, but I do remember seeing him like in the jersey or so. Now that y'all said that. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. The Dolphins, okay. But yeah, man, I think OBJ, man, I think time passed him, man. It's sad. It's sad, but it happens. It's sad, but it happens for sure. Matter of fact, my dog Pretty Tony in the chat, man, let's talk about these Chiefs, man. Indianapolis on the road at Kansas City. And the Chiefs saved their season, dog. Like, when we talked about this game on Sunday, I took the Chiefs in this. I was like, man, this is must win. The Chiefs are in playoff football. The Chiefs can't lose another game, dog. Not realistically. And not just for the division. The division's out of the question. I don't see a way they can come back and win the division. But I'm talking about for a wild card. The Chiefs can't lose another game if they hope to get into the wild card. Ergo, the Chiefs are in playoffs. The Chiefs are going to have a 9-week playoff because this Colts game was the opening week of the Chiefs' playoff run. They can't lose anymore. Know what makes the playoff special? It's one and done. The Chiefs are in playoff mode right now, and they got it done. They were down in this game. Was it 14-0? Was it 14-0 or 17-0? Y'all was down a lot in this game for sure. And the tide turned for sure in this one in the second half. Shout out to Spags, of course. We talked about that Chiefs defense for a while. And some of the things that we talked about on Sunday, and another reason why I took the Chiefs in this one is because I did like the defensive matchup for Spags and that defense versus the Colts and that offense and what it is that they need to do to win. So I did feel good about the Chiefs defense and their ability to match up and shut down or stop Jonathan Taylor. I felt good about that. But for the majority of this game, if I'm remembering right, am I thinking about the wrong game? Regardless, but for a lot of this game, man, it was looking like, okay, yep, it's over. And then in the second half, and specifically the second half, I want to say the Colts ended that game with 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. So they had 3 possessions in which they went 3-and-out in the second half of that game for sure. And the Chiefs stormed back and tie this one up and get it to overtime. And then, of course, they get the win there in overtime to really salvage that season. But I'm telling you, man, it's very dicey for Kansas City right now. That's what I'll say. This is a very good win, though. Very big win. Like, this was a loss for the Colts. And I know my dog Tom, man, if he's in here, he's been calling these Colts frauds the whole time. Now, also, he's a Texans fan, so it's one of his rivals. But he's been hard on these Colts the whole time, or all season, about just how good they are. And the thing about it is, like, I still do feel they're a good team. They have the same limitations now that they always had. They're going to go as far as the legs of Jonathan Taylor, not the arm of Daniel Jones, which is why he was never in consideration for MVP in my mind because of what we're seeing. Games like this Kansas City game. Games like the game they lost against my Steelers. Games like the game they went to overtime with in Germany against the Falcons, right? Because Daniel Jones can't drive the bus. Ergo, he can't be an MVP, which is the conversation. What I said from week 1 on. Y'all can find it. We can pull up the beam footage, right? And so these are the type of moments that show that. And so you're only going to go as far as the legs of Jonathan Taylor will carry you in and carry that team. And so you slow him down, you beat the Colts, right? You bottle him up, you beat the Colts. And that's what we've seen, and that's what they were able to do. So shout out to the Chiefs for sure getting that done. Let me see. Let me catch up on this. Mondu said, Tyreek Hill has too many babies and his football career is over. Oh, man. hey, hello. And let me find out you've been watching Sports Center in your free time now. Now, this is a good point now. Because Tyreek got like 10 or 12 kids. I want to say literally Tyreek's got like 10 or 12 kids now, man. I want to say he's got like 7-8 baby mamas, I want to say. I think he's got like 10, 12 kids spread across 7-8 women, realistically. And now he's made good money to this point in his career. He did have the knee injury, of course, mid-season that ended his season prematurely. And this was terrible about this, man, and the way things go. So the chatter was that he was going to be a guy. Well, and the Steelers have been linked to trading for anybody. But there was real smoke that Tyreek Hill was likely to be traded. If he was going to be traded this season, it was going to be to the Steelers. Is the talk. Now, also earlier in the season and at the time that Tyreek got injured, the Dolphins were a wide open dumpster fire, right? Now they've played better or picked up play, since then, especially like here recently. They've won a couple games. They've just looked by and large just looked better than they had at this time. But at that time when things are going on and transpiring, Tyreek's not shy about how he's feeling in the media, etc. And so it looked like, man, it was shaping up that he may realistically get out of there. And my Steelers were the team most heavily rumored to, being willing to go get him. But just like Mom said, he tears his knee up. His season's over. And I think the knee injury that he had, it was on. Yeah, I was watching the game. Exactly. And so I think more than just one ligament was affected. I don't think it was just a clean ACL. I believe it was like an ACL and maybe another of the ancillary tendons in there, maybe an ACL, MCL combination, or ACL and lateral meniscus, or something else in there as well. And then also, here's the thing about it as well, Tyreek, now he's still fantastic. He's still, on his best day, he's still he's still a top 3 guy. He's still one of the top 3 fastest guys in the league. You know what I mean? And so just in an open field, just take off and go. Between Tyreek Hill, Jahmyr Gibbs, and probably Devine A-Chain, Jameson Williams, those are the guys I would say probably the 3-4 fastest guys in the league. You know what I mean? So Tyreek is still in that elite style category, or at least he was before he's injured. Now, is he clearly a head and shoulders above the next fastest guy, where it really felt like he was? And especially field speed. Nobody was as fast as him on the field, for sure, because he didn't have the 40-yard record right from the combine. He doesn't have that. But when everybody's got pads on, there's nobody that was in his league. So I don't think it's necessarily that anymore. But he fell a level, and now he's on par with Jameson Williams. You know what I mean? Like, now he's on par with Chan. Now he's on par with Jahmyr Gibbs. He lost a step, and now he's on par with those guys at the very top of the league. So that's how special he is and how special he was. And so, but also, Tyreek's 31. Is Tyreek 31? I want to say he's either 29 or 31. I think he already crossed 30. I don't think it's 30. He's either 29. No, I want to say he's 30, 31. I'm not going to lie. And so Miles makes a good point. This type of injury at this stage in his career, right? And then also, coming back from this, he's not going to have a favorable view because he is in the press, and there's a lot of stuff going on off the field with him. He's had run-ins with the law, accusations or incidents of domestic violence. This goes all the way back to his time in college. And then, of course, like Mom said, he's dropping babies off like Santa drops off gifts. He's dropping babies off everywhere he goes. You know what I mean? And so there is a lot of stuff going on. And now, possibly being on the wrong side of 30, coming off a very serious injury, very serious knee injury, the off-field issues or off-field noise, right? And then also, he's one of those guys where every time he's talking in the media, you got to hold your breath because you never know what he's going to say. So Miles makes a good point. Now we'll have to see what's waiting for Tyreek on the other side when he gets back. Now he's going to have a place. He's going to have a place. I'll still take him. Knowing all of that, saying what I just said, I'll still take him. So he's definitely going to have a place. But it is interesting though, just to see what he looks like coming back. That's a good comment. That's two good ones. Miles, I want to say the rest are not on our side. Man, get out of here, man. Come on, man. The ref score, it's like 83-6. Calls for and against for y'all, man, on those those swing calls. Y'all still batting 800. Coaching malpractice to be up 2 scores in the fourth quarter and not even consider handing the football to Jonathan Taylor. Man, do you hear me? 3 straight 3-and-outs, dog, to end that game. Go to overtime. They end that game with 3 straight possessions, 3 3-and-outs. And just like you just said, up 2 scores, and Jonathan Taylor, who, for me, up until, for the bulk of this season, for me, he was the MVP forerunner for me. Not Daniel Jones for sure, but I had Jonathan Taylor. You know what I mean? Now also, right? Times are changing. You know what I mean? Like it or not, Jonathan Taylor, man, I'm not blaming you. But, you know, I can't have you in the number one seat no more, big dog. I just can't. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. MVP candidate Jonathan Taylor doesn't even touch the ball in the fourth quarter of a game. Like, you got to ride the horse that got you here. You know what I mean? So I'm with you, dog. I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's see. Miles said Peyton went 9 straight and won the Super Bowl. Oh, you talking about Peyton Manning and the Broncos? On their Super Bowl run? You got to be talking about Peyton, because that's the only Peyton that you can be talking about. So it's got to be Peyton Manning, and you got to be talking about that Broncos run. Because the year before he lost all his physical abilities, right? They went on a run, and he still had it, and he came back that next season or whatever the case, and everything was gone, man. Arm fell off his body. And then we got a lot of Brock Osweiler, a lot in that season. Brock got himself paid off of like them 12 games or so he played that season. He went and got cashed out by somebody. But yeah, the Broncos and Peyton, I mean, yeah, I don't remember if it was 9 straight or not, but I believe you. I believe you. 9 straight and won the Super Bowl. And you know what? That no-fly zone defense, that Broncos defense, absolutely fantastic back then as well. Right? Chiefs have their own strong defense. You've got a top quarterback. Now, Patty's better than Peyton was, just physically, of course, comparing the two. But no, man, I'm not gonna lie, there's some comparables there. It can be done, right? Not to say that it can't be done. It definitely can be done. You know what I mean? But that's a rough road, man. That's a rough road. Ma said the Chiefs in deep trouble. Yeah, that's a rough road. ZB said one of those games that definitely feels like the Colts lost, not the Chiefs win. Yeah, I'm with you, dog. I'm with you. Because sometimes that happens. Like me and Chop, man, I was telling when we talk about the Colts and their loss to the Rams. And it felt like the Colts lost, man. It felt like the Colts lost more so than the Rams won. It really does. Same thing like the Eagles and the Rams. Felt more like the Rams lost than the Eagles won that one. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It could be argued. It could be said that. So I'm with you, though. I'm with you. And then that's the thing about these Colts. They've only lost 3 games. And look at the 3 games they lost. On the road against the Rams, they had 2 touchdowns taken off the board by a guy they drafted and traded, right? 2 scores off the board in that game and a loss to the Rams. And then, like I said, against these Chiefs, you shut them out in the first half. You up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And then you have 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. You get stopped. They go to overtime. They win the game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm with you. 2 of their 3 losses or against very quality opponents, Chiefs and Rams, and both of those are games that arguably they should have won. Right? I'm trying to think, who was their first loss? Who was their first loss? Who's the other team they lost to that I'm not thinking of? They lost to the Rams. They lost to the Rams and Chiefs just now. Who was their first loss? Who are we missing? But I know those 2 are definitely games they probably should have won. So I'm with you. I'm with you. He said 14-3 was the biggest deficit. I don't know why I thought y'all was shut out for a little bit. I don't know why I thought they or maybe I don't know why I thought they was up 2 foot. Or and that's probably right. Yeah, but I don't know why I thought they maybe got them first 2 on the board before y'all got that first field goal. Mom said if Chris Johnson show up on defense. All right, who are you talking to? Yeah, somebody feeding her lines, man. Somebody feed my mama lines. Because I know for a fact my mama don't even know who Chris Jones is. Somebody feeding my mama lines, man. My mama asked about Chris Jones showing up on the Kansas City defense, and they might have won. Yeah, somebody talking to her. Yeah, she think you slick. Now you caught. You see? I was going to give you that first one. I was like, all right, that's not bad. Then you came back for 2. And I was like, what? What's going on? But 3? Nah. Yeah, nah. Somebody feeding their lines, man. Somebody feeding my mama lines and now she busted. Cause I know my mama don't know who Chris Jones is. Ain't no way. Hell no. Yeah, now you caught. You see this? You see this, fellas? See, all you gotta do is listen. Cause your woman to tell on herself every time. Just let her talk shit, tell on herself. Chris Jones will show up on defense. Ha! 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 Yeah, all right. All right, lady. Yeah, all right. Let me see. Ma said, if we line up and I stop your leading rusher and keep him under 40 yards, I think the Chiefs won. Well, did you keep him under 40 yards? Or did they just not give him the football? Cause it was just a long stretch of the game where he just didn't even touch the football. You know what I mean? He just didn't touch the ball. But honestly though, I'm not trying to knock y'all. I didn't mean to knock y'all that way. Because you remember Sunday. I took your Chiefs now, don't forget. And one of the things I said was that I think your defense matches up well against that offense and what they want to do. So I did imagine that y'all would win this game by being able to box up Jonathan Taylor because y'all got the defense to, you know what I mean, to box him up and then make Daniel Dimes show that he can beat somebody, and he's still yet to do that. So I'm with you. You know what I mean? I'm with you. But in doing all of that, right, just like you said, Miles, you held him to 40 yards and did all that, and you know what else you had to do? You had to come back from down 2 scores and take him to overtime. And that's with holding him to under 40 yards. So you got to think about it. Because if you tell me you held Jonathan Taylor to 40 yards, I would have thought you won this game comfortably. Or at least we're up 2-3 scores for the majority of the game, like my Steelers. See, my Steelers, we held Jonathan Taylor to, I think, less than 50 yards. I think he had like 47 yards. He had less than 60 yards. But I want to say he might have had less than 50. But also, we were up like 3 scores for the majority of that game. They get the fourth quarter, garbage time, and a couple late turn. Some things. A couple late scores in the last 7 minutes of that game. I think they scored 2 touchdowns to tighten the score up. But for the most part, we were up 14, 17 points for the bulk of that game because we held him in check, like you're saying, to like less than 50 yards in the game. Now, when we did it, it looked different than when y'all did it. Because see, when y'all did it, in the fourth quarter, you're down 2 scores and you still got to go to overtime to get it done. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So it's still a little different. But y'all definitely got it done, though. I ain't gonna never take it away now. That win hit the board. You know what I mean? The wins get written in ink. You know what I mean? The wins and losses get written in ink. The context is what's in pencil. You know what I'm saying? It's up to us to go back and apply proper context. But the wins and the losses get written in ink, for sure. He said, I also want to say the run game allowed the Chiefs to manage the clock well. Yeah, no, man, you had a nice little game from Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt went, 70... I should have wrote it down. I want to say Kareem Hunt had 77 yards, 74 yards. Got in the paint. I want to say Kareem Hunt had 77 yards and got in the paint. Right? If I'm not tripping. So no, yeah, he definitely gave y'all exactly what y'all needed for sure. Definitely did as well. And you know what might remind me, man? Patty threw another interception in this one. Or am I tripping? I might be misremembering. Hey, D-Dot in the building, man. What's going on, man? Big Nation business in the building. What's going on, my dog D-Dot, man? Hey, we still in here, big dog. You know what's going on, man, dog. Look, I'm going to tell you, man. Mason, it's Mason. I don't even know what to say other than that's a game we should have won. That's another game we should have won, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I might have been talking to, I don't know if I was talking to my dog Tom. I was talking to somebody, dog. Like the Steelers are 6-5. We've got 5 losses. And honestly, dog, it can legitimately be said that realistically, bro, we could have or probably should have won at least 3 of those games, dog. We should have beat the Bears. Honestly, I think we should have beat the Chargers. Like I said, A-Rod had the worst game of his career. That was a game there for us to win, man. That was the game there in position to win. That Green Bay game Sunday night in Pittsburgh. We up 2 scores at halftime. That's a game we should have won. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. But now I feel you, dog. And now we got Josh Allen coming to the crib next week, dog. It's getting scary. Look, she at it again. Kareem Hunt shows up at certain times, but not all the times like he needs to. How you know Kareem Hunt name? How you know Kareem Hunt name, lady? My mama know 2 Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. That's it. That's all. Patty Mahomes, Jason Kelce. That's it. Now she know that Chris Jones ain't handling his business on defense, and she know that Kareem Hunt is wishy-washy. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can see it's going to take a little straightening. Yeah, man. We had to get a little straightening. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't say nobody else's name for the Chiefs. Don't say nobody else's name from the Chiefs. I dare you. I double dare you. Don't say you. Let me hear you talk about. Let me hear you talk about. I'm not even gonna give you no names in case you say something. I'm not gonna do it. I'm trying to tell you. You better not. Somebody feeding the lines. I'm trying to tell you right now. She's the stick and fork in what Rodgers do. I still need him. I still need him. I still need A-Rod. Miles, I'm ignoring you, dog. Hell no, I'm ignoring you. I know. In case you couldn't tell, I'm ignoring you. Bruh. Goodness gracious. I almost said so. You remember what we used to say about y'all Kansas City boys when y'all first got to Central. Now, hey, them old Kansas City, yeah, man, hey, now. Hell no. I can't believe this. Chris Jones. The hell you know who Chris Jones is. The hell's going on? Chris Jones ain't showing up on defense. The nerve. I can't believe this. Jets go on the road at Baltimore. Baltimore wins the game. Now, this game was a tight game for a while. I was sitting there thinking like, man, are the Jets going to really do it? They're going to come through and upset these Ravens for me? And no, they didn't. You know, they faded fast. Baltimore holds on against this dub 23-10. I'm going to start burning through some of these, man. I done burned a lot of daylight just talking. Cleveland on the road at the Raiders. Yeah, this is a good one. We got to talk about it, man. Shedeur Sanders named the starter going forward. Cleveland wins this game 24-10 and gets this one done. Now, also, keep in mind, I say Shedeur shines, right? Now, also, this is like we talk about a lot on this show, right? Context, right? And so even before this, man, when y'all know, a lot of y'all know me from Let the Field Speak, me and my dog Chop. The whole concept of the title of that show was that going deeper than just the raw stats, going deeper than the numbers, man. Because the numbers might say one thing and then we watch the film and it say something else. You know what I mean? So when I say Shedeur shines, I'm not talking just the pure numbers. That's low-hanging fruit. Everybody's ready to shoot me down. You know what I'm saying? You say something like that, you can't wait to tear it down. What do you mean? He was 55% on passes. He threw for barely 200 yards. He threw a terrible interception. His touchdown was a screen pass. Right? I know what you're going to say, but let me explain and let me add the context, right? Now, true, 11 for 20. That's 55% completion percentage. It's not great, right? Now, also in there, it was a drop or two, right? Jerry Jeudy's returned for him, right? So it was one of those as well, but it's the plays that he did make, the way he looked making them, and then just overall the way he handled and carried himself just in the game. There's a clear delineation of what we saw from Dylan Gabriel and then what we saw from Shedeur Sanders, right? And the thing about it is that it's not surprising because up until 6 months ago, right? Up until 6 months ago, nobody had Dillon Gabriel in the same breath as Shedeur Sanders as far as quarterback prospect rankings were going. So this isn't surprising to see them play and think, you know what, Shedeur looks a little better. Shedeur handles himself better. Looks like an actual starting quarter. He looks like a guy that can actually develop into a starting quarterback. Dillon Gabriel, who's also, mind you, 24, he's got the record for most collegiate starts. I don't necessarily know if that's a good record to have. I don't think that's a good record. I don't want to be the guy whose name is in the record book because I was a starting quarterback in college for 6 years. I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, Shedeur comes out and introduces himself, man. The play of the game, honestly, right out the gate. First quarter, I think it was it his second play? Was it the second play of the game? It was early. Maybe it wasn't the second play, but it was early. I want to say it was on that first drive still, right? We got hard play action. He's booting out right. He's getting away from, I want to say, is Max Crosby chasing him, right? He's booting out right. He's getting away from pressure. And he lets go a 55-yard dime to Isaiah Bynes, who stumbles and falls just short of the end zone. Down at the 2? Down at the 2, but booting right, avoiding pressure, evading pressure, getting away, and throws an absolute 55-yard dime in the bucket to rookie Isaiah Bond. That's right out the box. You know what I mean? That's right out the box. He came straight out the wrapper and did that. I think that was the second play of the game, right? And then, of course, the reel or the meme or the post that were, floating around social media and everything, Myles Garrett. Man, look, I'm not going to lie, man, look. Myles Garrett almost lost his mind. He didn't know what to do with himself. He didn't know what to do. He was just looking around like, am I tripping? Or did everybody else see that too? He didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? And so, no, man played well. And then also, later on in that game as well, he had the big third down conversion where he's also on that one as well. I think he's booting out right. He's avoiding pressure. He's directing somebody downfield. Lets one go. Hits Jerry Jeudy on a deep crosser, and then Jerry Jeudy, stupid ass, starts playing hopscotch with the ball in his hands in the middle of the football field. And then, of course, lets the Raiders come up from behind and strip the ball and recover the ball. And so, but it still doesn't take away that it was a fantastic 40-yard pass, or it was a 40-yard completion. But I think the pass itself probably was, 25, 30 yards in the air. Fantastic play and pass from Shedeur, though, right? And then that's a drive that, because of the turnover by Jeudy, that's not a scoring drive as well. I think that drive, he fumbled that ball roughly in the red zone, right? So they got down maybe just shy of the red zone, but we're in scoring position. This is a drive that likely ends in a score, a 3, if not a 6, right? And so there were plays that are being made. Now, the interception that he threw was a bad interception. Now, also, kudos and credit to the Raiders defense, and we are dealing with the rookie making his first start after his first week of practice, right? He had to let everybody know, you know what I mean? And yeah, they got him, man. I think it was I can't remember the defense exactly, but I do remember, I think the backside defensive end ended up dropping back in the coverage. And so he reads the pressure, but he gets fooled, right? It's a disguised pressure. Somebody's blitzing. That guy drops out, right? And so now you got a guy dropping out who, you know what I mean? And it's a pick. So no, that's that happens. You know what I mean? It happens. Still a bad play. But other than that, man, he did a commendable job, I can say that. And then I'm so glad that he did get the touchdown. Even though it came the way it did, I'm so glad he got the touchdown on the books, because he didn't get that touchdown to the fourth quarter. It's just a swing pass, just a swing screen to Dylan Sampson, rookie running back. The other rookie running back got drafted in the same class with Quinshon Judkins out of Tennessee. He's the speed back, the lightning to the thunder, that's Quinshon Judkins. And so he's been kind of quiet so far at this point in the season. But this type of performance, right, when you take a swing pass 66 yards to the crib, you know what I mean? I'm sure, hopefully, well, maybe not because it's Kevin Stefanski. We have to question his decisions as a coach. So I don't know if Kevin Stefanski saw you run 66 yards in an NFL game to the crib untouched. I don't know if he sees that and thinks, you know what, I should get him the ball more or try to get him involved. I can't promise you Kevin Stefanski thinks like that, right? But for the greater majority of us, I would like to see Dylan Sampson get his shake at a couple more touches. right? With that type of explosiveness, that type of dynamicism, right? So no, man, I'm glad to see that one hit the books as a passing touchdown for Shedeur. Like I said, he finishes with, I think it was 209 yards, the one touchdown, the one pick, and of course highlighted by those two deep shots that we talked about. But then of course name the starter. I don't know if, and it's one of those things where these type of things are always going to get like nitpicked or over analyzed. But I don't know if anybody saw the interaction between Kevin Stefanski and the rest of the team in the locker room, like the victory locker room. You give out the game balls and da-da-da-da. And man, I if y'all didn't see it, matter of fact, if y'all didn't see it, I ain't gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna talk about it. Hey, you heard what she said. You see what she said. Yeah, you ready? Yeah, 6 Steelers. 3 Chiefs. I want 6 Steelers. Chris Jones ain't playing defense right. Boy, I can't believe I was trying to move on. Look at this guy. Yeah, all right. Hey, come on, man. You better know that when I got the jersey. Oh, man. Hey, y'all ain't right. Oh, she said JJ. Oh, okay, there we go. Hey, yeah, there we go. See, that was close, though. See, there we go. I take it. See, I take it. See, this is good. Now, this is cool. Don't fix it. Nah, don't fix it. See, this is it. This is where she at. Leave her in a safe space. Somebody been feeding the lines. See, this is it. This is good. Now we back on track. There we go. See, now we back on track. Yeah. Now we back on track. Now we back on track. There we go. Now, you know what? That's a little spicy. But I'm gonna put it on the board for you. I'm gonna put it on the board because it's you. That's a little spicy. You know what I mean? Cleveland wanted that great white hype, and that's why they didn't start saying it. And you know what? I'm not gonna say it was necessarily one of the great white hype, but I do think that Stefanski, and it's not just Stefanski, right? There's been a lot of talk about a lot of teams and a lot of whatever that were turned off by the perceived, or like the perception, I guess, around Shedeur Sanders for a lot of the league, right? And I don't even want to say those. I'm not even going to say the things that they say. You know what I mean? Because I'm not here to perpetuate any type of false narratives against a young man who's confident in his own capabilities. Because that's all I see is a man that's confident in his own capabilities. And so it does raise the question that, sometimes there's certain things like a lot of people, and especially people I'll leave that alone as well. I'm going to leave that alone. But I will say this, people are comfortable if you fit their expectation, right? So people are always more comfortable when you fit their expectation. And so it's more easier there's an old saying, I'm going to try not to get too philosophical on y'all. You know what I'm saying? But there's an old saying, man, or an old line of thinking or whatnot. I'll drop a little nugget of game on y'all. You know what I mean? Like, you want to, you can control, well, I'm not going to get too deep. Well, okay, so essentially, long story short, right? If you can control a man through his desires or his motivations. You see what I'm saying? So if you know what a man wants, you can control him. You know what he desires, you can control him. You know what I mean? And so when it's poor black kid from hood, bad family, bad upbringing, never had 2 nickels to rub together. You know what I'm saying? Well, now you can, he's buying, and I'm talking, like I said, I don't like talking like this on this platform, but I'm saying, that's a guy, he's easier to understand, he's easier to predict, and then also you've got a tried and true established method of how to manipulate, handle, or control it, right? Because of those motivations or desires or those styles of things that you're able to use as leverage in various situations. Well, rich young kid from a affluent family who grew up the son of an absolute rock star, right? You know what I mean? So he doesn't he doesn't have those same, buttons. You know what I mean? Like you can't rile him up with thoughts of him or his family going back to the poorhouse. You know what I mean? I love Michael Irvin, dog. I love him. And he's hilarious. I love hearing him tell stories. But if you listen to Michael Irvin talk long enough, he can't talk for too long without telling you how broke he was growing up. And what Jimmy Johnson in the college and the pros, and Jerry Jones and what these guys, how they were able to motivate and manipulate to a certain extension, right? But it for the good and the bad. Manipulation it has an inherently bad meaning, but for the good and the bad. If I can manipulate you to working harder so that you perform better, ergo we perform better, that's still a manipulation. So I'm saying it in the most driest sense. But he tells the story about how his upbringing, his circumstances, how those things could be leveraged against him, for good or bad. You see what I'm saying? Well, Shedeur doesn't have that. Man, if I leave here, I'm not going back to the poorhouse, dog. I grew up in a 30,000 square foot crib, man. I grew up lake in my backyard. You know what I mean? Like you can't push me like that, dog. You know what I mean? I'm not intimidated. I'm not scared. I'm confident. I'm here. I'm here because I want to be here. Because I'm good at this. You know what I mean? So like those type of things, makes some folks uncomfortable. Makes some folks uncomfortable. But I'm not gonna say great white hope because they did go give all that money to Deshaun Watson on the back of all the stuff that he did in Houston, or all the stuff that was surrounding him coming from Houston. You know what I mean? And they still went and got him and gave that boy that guaranteed contract. They still paying for it now. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna say that. But that's a good comment though. That's a good comment. That sparked a good thought process. For sure. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all. Dylan Siller looks like a professional backup, while Shedeur's like, no, exactly, dog. Like Dylan's not getting too much better, and not to say that he can't improve, but it is one of those things as well where, like, these things there's no way to know until we know, right? And so you've got to base like his upside potential. If his upside was too much more than what it is now, it wouldn't have took him 6 years in college to get here. You know what I mean? And then him getting drafted where he got drafted, even that's an outlier. Because he wasn't, I don't know how many boards truly he was on, or I don't know any conversation that I saw centered around Dylan Gabriel, right, that involved him being a day two consideration. 3rd round pick. You know what I mean? The only thing more shocking than Dylan Gabriel getting drafted in the 3rd round was the fact that Shedeur wasn't drafted by then. You know what I mean? And that Shedeur was on the board. So, but yeah, no, man, exactly. I don't know how much more is left to get there. Man, I'm trying to tell you, boy, it's a bad kept secret, man. Exactly. Now the Browns got a wildcat package. When Shedeur throws a 55-yard rope to get us on the 2-yard line, now we got a wildcat package. Ain't this some stuff? Yeah, but I ain't gonna be mad at it though, man. Hey, a touchdown's a touchdown. You know what I mean? A touchdown's a touchdown for sure. Day one game, Jarrell said he got something for us. Okay, hold on. Here, let's see. He said he got a great thought. Let him cook for a second. I got you. Man, it's getting late too. Hold on. Yeah, I got you. We're going to go ahead and get this and thug it out. Stefanski Pops is an owner of an NBA. Whoa. I did not. Wait a minute. Stefanski's family owns an NBA team? Bro, how did I not know that? Stefanski Pops is the owner of an NBA team who was a loud opponent of how Allen Iverson dressed and carried himself. Yeah. This is the house school Stefanski grew up in. And so now I can see how he treats primetime son. Come on, man. Boy, when you right, you right. This is why I fool with y'all. Shout out to the RBT family, man. I did not know this backstory. I did not know that backstory. Wow. And that's the thing about it as well. It's like, and I hate, like, these conversations can always get so muddled because, of course, it can dissolve into just an argument or debate or a greater conversation around, like, race or race baiting or the race card or any of those, like, hot trigger words anytime anytime race is talked about in discussion, anytime that white or Caucasian race is in conversation in an unfavorable light, I'll say that, right? There's a lot of times other time we might talk about white and black and things like race baiting or uh, race card playing and all that. These things only come up when the kitchen gets a little warm on the other side. But that's a good point, man, and I didn't know that. And so here's the thing about it as well, because like it's okay to even feel that way though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, especially because if I'm the owner of a team or I'm the coach of a team, and that also imbues me with a certain sense of ownership over what we got going on because it's my program. You know what I mean? And so yeah, like I may have we all do, right? We all are gonna have our own personal biases about like just personality types, man. You know what I mean? So there's gonna be things that there's a large group of people that may not like my like loud and boisterous personality. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Now, the only reason it's a problem is because it's not a problem if Kevin Stefanski doesn't necessarily vibe with how Shedeur carries himself. Like their personalities just don't mesh or just don't click. That's okay. They don't have to. It's a problem or it's a conversation point because it appears that biasness is inhibiting or preventing is causing you to withhold an opportunity that otherwise it appears he earned. You see what I'm saying? And so like Shedeur not playing because he's not better is cool, regardless of his personality, the things he says in interviews, how cocky or confident he is, depending on which side of the line you want to stand on there. You know what I mean? Like all of those things are cool, but that can't be the reason that he's denied an opportunity. That's why it's wrong. It's not bad that he feels that way. And you know what? Honestly, the owner of the 76ers or whatever owner, if they don't like that Allen Iverson was tatted, you know what I'm saying? Sleeves, earrings, you know what I'm saying? Braids, you know what I'm saying? So he doesn't like it. He's uncomfortable, boot to boot. Like, yeah, okay. Like, it's okay to have an opinion about that because it just doesn't mesh with your own personal tastes and biases, right? Because we all have those things. But it's not okay to use that as an excuse to withhold an opportunity from someone or to like adversely affect someone's career because of that. Like that's where it can't bleed over. Kevin Stefanski is well within his rights to feel that Shedeur Sanders is some hotshot, cocky young kid. Like that's cool. But that can't be the reason that Dylan Gabriel's playing over him though. You know what I mean? That can't be the reason for that though. Like that's where it has to turn in. That's where it becomes a conversation point, right? Is because when like that's overshadowing the thing that should matter here. Excuse me. And so that's what the problem is. But hey, they went drill, dog. I did not know that, bro. I did not know that, man. Yeah. Hey, I did not even know that. And it's even deeper than that, man, because not just Stefanski, but also we got to keep in mind as well, just culturally and from different eras and all these things, there ain't no excuse for none of that. Because right is right and wrong is wrong, period. Right's always gonna be right, wrong's always gonna be wrong. Anybody that knows me know, man, I don't give a damn, man. Right's right, wrong's wrong, period. So all that old timey and all that stuff, man, that just means your great granddaddy was wrong, man. It don't make an excuse for you to do the wrong thing too. You know, so that being what it is. And so there's a whole generation of, people who grew up with a certain understanding or just having only experienced, and for the sake of this conversation, right, because we're talking specifically Stefanski and Shedeur. So let's say there is a large swath of people who fit the demographic of Kevin Stefanski, right? Who fit that demographic, and they, in their mind, right, they're accustomed to seeing, dealing, or interacting, or whatever with people of the demographic of Shedeur in a certain way, in a certain manner. They have a certain inherent expectation of like a certain inherent expectation or box of which you expect this person to sit. And if that person's not in that box, it's uncomfortable, right? LeBron James giving his opinion on something political, right? He gets told to shut up and play basketball. Not because what he said was right or wrong, but it's outside of the box that we've got set up for you to thrive in, right? It's outside of your box. Now, the problem with something like that isn't the person who's outside of the box. The problem is the person who tried to put the box on that person. You see what I'm saying? So when somebody tells LeBron to shut up and dribble, why? You know what I mean? Like why? And so completely different. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get out of there. But that's a damn good point, Jarrell. I didn't know that about Kevin Stefanski, like just directly. But then it also does speak to, like you're saying, right? Like he grew up in a house in which, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, he grew up in that context, and it's not just him, and not just because his daddy owned the team, and so they were fabulously wealthy, right? Your pops owns an NFL team. You grew up fabulously wealthy. Arthur Smith, he's the offensive coordinator from my Steelers. His dad found UPS? Maybe? I think his dad founded UPS or maybe Home Depot. I'm tripping because maybe Arthur Blank, whatever. But so what I'm saying is, you know, so there's a large demographic that are only equipped to deal with or handle, you know, people that fit the demographic of Shedeur Sanders in a certain light. You know what I mean? Shedeur Sanders, yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone, man. I'm gonna leave that alone. I said I was gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone for real now. I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, yeah. See, now you on Chat GPT. Peyton was a dog. Peyton could play. Peyton was better than his daddy Archie. Now Archie, as far as like Archie, because they're having the pops in the league, right? Because I want to be careful saying stuff like that as far as Archie, Peyton, and Eli, because that's the same thing that was said about LeBron and Bronny. Same thing said about Deion and Shedeur. Like you only hear because your daddy and things like that. So now I don't want to say that. Peyton was a fantastic quarterback. Peyton's my favorite quarterback of all time. Peyton's my GOAT. Tom Brady became Tom Brady when he started playing Peyton Manning's brand of football. You know what I mean? Now Eli, I don't fool with Eli, but yeah, but hey man, this was a good show. And man, look, we overtime. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, because we got 3 games tomorrow. Thanksgiving, man. One of my favorite things about Thanksgiving as well, in addition to being off work and having all the food for sure, is we got football all day long, man. So real quick, we're gonna get through some of these games. The fun gets started tomorrow. Tomorrow's first Turkey Bowl game kicks off at 12 o'clock Central, and it is the Green Bay Packers traveling to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. I've got Detroit getting that one done 27-23, and I'm going to burn through these. If you got a prediction for me, you got a score, Jared, drop it in the chat, and I'll try to get you on the board. The second game, 3:25 kickoff, Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to Dallas and take on the Dallas Cowboys. I've got Dallas holding on to getting this one done, man. I think I don't know, man. These Cowboys, that was a big win against the Eagles for sure. Now, mind you, they did all their work in the second half for sure, but it's something I really like the way. I really like what I'm seeing from Dak and George Pickens. We are watching a very special connection. And I don't know how long the connection is going to last, like I said, with the contracts and whatever's going to go on. And so I don't know. But I'm telling you, watching Dak and George Pickens, this is a fantastic QB receiver combination. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to say this. I don't know why this comparison keeps popping in my mind, but I'm gonna say it because I'm not gonna say it because y'all not gonna let it die. But it's a fantastic connection, man. You know what I mean? And so this will be a big test for Dallas for sure, right? Can they perform and do the things they've done against another very talented defense like Kansas City? But the fact that they just did it against a defense as talented as the Eagles tells me if you can perform that way against the Eagles defense, then you can perform that way against just about anybody's defense. That includes Kansas City. So if you can score if you can score in the manner that they score against teams like Kansas City, or excuse me, against teams like Philly, then you can score points at home against Kansas City as well. Now, also Kansas City, Dallas's defense has been garbaggio for the majority of the season. Now, Quentin Williams only been there for 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks' times, there has been a vast improvement in that defense. Logan Wilson also come over for Cincinnati. But this Kansas City offense, same as always, is still not overly dynamic. It's not overly explosive. And so they do have they do have a mojo that works. And when it's working, they can cook. But it's not always there. And so I can't promise you that Kansas City can go on the road in Dallas and shoot it out and race to 30 with Dallas. Not the way Dallas' offense is playing right now. I can't promise you that. Especially when I just seen Dallas' offense put up 24 points in the second half against the Eagles, defending Super Bowl champs. So this is a tough one. I'm going Dallas in this one. Can't wait to watch this one. I'm going 27-24. My dog, Day One Game Jarrell said he's got the same score, but he's got the Chiefs. Okay, I got you. But like I said, I think this is it's still a winnable game because I said that Chiefs defense and Spags. Now they are on the road, right? There's something there, but even still, that Chiefs defense, because defense travels, and when that Spags defense is firing on all cylinders, bro, like it's an ugly day at the office for just about anybody, right? That offense, I still just don't have faith in. They do enough, right? They do enough to get it done for sure, but they just don't scare me, right? They just don't scare me. So I'm taking Dallas. And then last but not least, the coup de grace, the game of the day for your dog. Like I said, I will be locked in front of my TV and I will see all 64 snaps of this game play for play. I'm trying to tell you, man, the 7:20 p.m. kickoff finale of Turkey Day. We got Cincinnati on the road at Baltimore, and I'm taking Joe Burrow's Bengals in the upset. All right? Joe Burrow, from what I'm understanding, Joe Burrow, it was speculation that he was going to play last week. He didn't, right? Against the Patriots. And so now, like, I saw posters and, like, fanfare and things like that leading up to this game. I'm seeing Joe Burrow on posters facing off against Lamar Jackson. All intents and purposes, it looks like Joe Burrow is going to make his return in this game on Thanksgiving in Baltimore against them funky Ratbirds. And I'm telling you, I need him to win. I need Joe Burrow to show up, hitting the ground running. Jamar Chase, he's fresh off his suspension for spitting on people on camera and lying about it. He's fresh off that suspension. He's well rested. Joe Burrow's been injured for about 7-8 weeks now. He's well rested. He's amped up. He's ready to go. He gets to do it against a division opponent, a division rival in the Baltimore Ravens. I cannot wait to see it. I'm going with the upset, man. I'm taking Joe Burrow to drop 30 on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in their building on Thanksgiving night. That's a tall order, but I'm taking it anyway. I'm putting it in the universe. It's what I need to happen. I'm putting it in the universe. I need Joe Burrow to show up and do what he's got to do, man. I need Jamar Chase to not spit on nobody so he doesn't get suspended in this game again. And I need him to go off and show I need him to go off and dominate and score 3 touchdowns so that Joe Burrow can beat these Bengals. That's what I need to happen. And so that's what I got called, man. 30-27 Bengals to end Thanksgiving night. Now, that is it. That is all. Sis said she's riding with Joe Burrow and the Bengals as well. That's it. That's all, man. We ran overtime. I ain't gonna lie, man. We ain't went past 9 o'clock in a while. So I'm sorry about that. But before we get out of here, man, of course, y'all know what we got to do, man. The real member roll call. We cannot leave the show without it. First one in the door today was Sis. Hey, I appreciate you. I always say what's up to the RBT fam. Let me see. ZB, man, favorite coworker was in the building, man, holding it down for them Chargers. I appreciate you as always, homeboy. Let me see. Mom Dukes is in the building as well. Boy, he was on fire today. She's in the building as well as always. My dog Chop stopped through, said what's up to the fam. Man, I appreciate your homeboy. Let me see. I'm looking for you. Day One Game Jarrell was in the building. Man, I appreciate you, man. Shout out to the Eagles for sure. I'm looking for you. My dog, Pretty Tony the Painter. My dog Mouse is in the building. Man, I appreciate you as always, homeboy. And the rest of y'all. I'm looking for. Oh, man, I know you in there somewhere. I know my Steelers brethren dropped in and said what's up to you. Where my dog D-Dot at? D-Dot, I know you was in here, big dog. I can't find you. My bad, big dog. My bad. I'm still trying to find you, and I can't find you in the chat. Damn. We say the same thing every week. Feel free to say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, hey, damn, for real, D-Dot, my dog, my bad. But charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart. You know I'm thinking about you, big dog. Appreciate all love, support as always, man. I appreciate y'all getting in here, hopping in here, staying late with your dog, man. Like I said, we ran over. Appreciate all the conversation today, man. It was a lot of fun for sure. Have fun. I can't wait to see everybody. Can't wait to see everybody on Sunday, man. Can't wait to hear how everybody's Thanksgiving went. I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. Have fun. If you're traveling, safe travels. If you're expecting family coming in, safe travels to your family and friends as well, man. Everybody, enjoy yourselves. Eat as much as you can. Laugh as hard as you can, man. Watch as much football as you can before you pass out from the meat sweats, man. And other than that, I will see y'all Sunday at 10 o'clock. Until then, y'all have a happy holiday. Peace.